Hello. A bit jarring, I know.
Hello and welcome to Condor and Crow's Petrifying Picture Show. I am Crow. The guy who looks like a giant bird is Condor. You can tell because of the giant bird.
But wouldn't it be funny if it were the other way around, actually? Or no, if like you had some sort of bird related name, and then I just had like a regular name, like I was just like Phil or something like that.
This is Crow and Phil.
And Phil.
Phil likes to dress up like a giant bird, but don't tell him. His psychiatrist is kind of working on it. He's got some issues related to birds. Right now, he thinks he's a giant bird. We're hoping to transition him out of the bird suit back into regular society.
Yeah.
Somewhere that information will be useful, but not tonight.
Yeah, not tonight.
Tonight there are no lizards or no lizard or birds.
No lizards or birds.
No lizards or birds. There is Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, and a mind-controlling fossil hominid. Yes, that's right, folks. On a train, altogether, you get Horror Express.
Cushing is kind of reptilian looking, I think. He's got like a similar, his jaw line. It's kind of like Benedict Cumberbatch is like very reptilian looking as well, you know what I mean? They've got kind of that.
They're both secret lizard people, is what you're saying?
Yes, I do believe that. Yes, I mean, yeah, along with Zuckerberg.
Yeah, it's possible. Sure. Yeah, let's go with yes.
Or maybe Cushing like didn't really die and he just like shed his skin and then became Benadryl Cucumber Limb Science Museum. Yeah, Cucumber Ranch. Yeah,
I can live with that hypothesis. I don't see any reason why that could not be true.
Yeah. Also, just a little, I think this is a good point to point out that also technically birds are reptiles, actually, because, dinosaurs are birds. We know that.
Well, birds are dinosaurs. They're not reptiles.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, but
reptiles and dinosaurs separated. They're not the same thing. But birds are dinosaurs, but a subsect of dinosaurs. They're theropods.
Yeah, but birds and dinosaurs and crocodilians have a common ancestor.
I mean, yeah, if you're going back far enough to justify this argument, yes, technically true.
Yes, technically. I mean,
technically true. Really, but by that argument, we're also dinosaurs and reptiles.
Yeah. I guess technically we're actually like all fish, but I guess that's neither here nor there if you go back.
We're not gonna go back but yes, I mean, go on.
Yeah. We're all primordial soup.
Yes, we're all.
But anyway, yeah, but I guess it's only slightly related because of the hominid, prehistoric. This is sort of a prehistoric night.
It is because of the nature of the creature. So, this movie is an adaptation of Who Goes There by John W. Campbell Jr., written under the pen name Don A. Stewart. Most people are, there's three versions of this particular story. Most people are familiar with John Carpenter's The Thing, and the prequel, also The Thing. But before that, you had this, and before that, you had The Thing from Another World. All adaptations of the same short story.
Wasn't the original The Thing? Wasn't it just like a guy who had like spiky hands or something like that? I remember it not being like. I think it was just like a guy who came out of the ice and was just like he had like weird hands or something, and he was like, I'm gonna touch you with my gross hands or something. Not like the really awesome Carpenter special effects weird shapeshifter.
Right, no,
like that's the creepiest shapeshifter I've ever seen.
Yeah,
definitely.
And sadly, that movie was not in the public domain because I was like, we can show that one too, but no, we can't.
Yeah. That's the thing, you never really, you expect something to be in public domain, and weirdly it's not, because people crossed their T's and dotted their I's, and I think it should all be free. It should all be free, but that's me.
After a certain point, yeah. But yeah, they all of them loosely follow the story of a group of people trapped in an Antarctic research outpost with a shape-shifting alien monster. This movie takes that same sort of concept and, makes it British.
Yeah.
filmed in Spain, and puts it on a train, as one does.
Spain on a train.
Spain on a train.
It's also kind of a it's like a sort of like a almost vampiric, isn't it? Like a vampire, psychic vampire yeti kind of creature, sort of.
So the premise behind this particular creature, and you'll see it at some point, is that it started out on the microbial level and worked its way up, possessing higher life forms, and higher is subjective, of course, but more complicated creatures over time, and picking up traits, even though it was psychically merging with those creatures. So, yes, at some point it did merge with a early hominid, and for some reason, after that point on, it has a giant monkey hand, early ape-man hand. So yes, it's both a psychic contagion with some sort of, I don't know, side effects. Let's go with that.
Yeah, which is a really original idea, I think. I mean, I think it's a really cool idea. As you said, it was based on that short story. I think there's a lot that you can do with that, and of course, Carpenter's the thing takes that up another level. But I think, but this is it's a classic in a way. I mean, and of course, yeah, like you said, Cushing in it has Christopher Lee is in it, who is just, I mean, he's great. But also something I think is interesting is that Christopher Lee played Rasputin, the Mad Monk, in a Hammer movie. But then there's also a sort of Rasputin-like character in this.
Yes.
I think he should have just gone Eddie Murphy, and he should have just played
all roles, like all of them.
Yeah, played the Rasputin type
I would
character.
Watch that, but my taste in movies is notably bad. But would I watch that? Yes.
Eclectic, I think, sounds a lot better than bad.
No, it's bad. I can admit it. My taste
eclectically bad.
Yes.
But being entertained is really all that matters.
Oh, this movie definitely does that. I mean, where else are you going to go? Revived ape men and aliens. But no, wait. Body hopping aliens. No, wait. Psychic body hopping aliens. Oh, wait. Also zombies. Wait. And a captain who's also Kojak. Okay, wait, hang on. And a countess and a mad monk. And, wait. Tons of white eyeballs and smooth brain meat. This movie's got it all. Smooth brain meat on a train.
It was really ahead of the whole. I almost said snakes on a train instead of snakes on a plane. Which, wait, that was a B movie though. I remember after Snakes on a Plane came out, someone tried to capitalize on that, on the very short-lived snake craze of like 2005. And they tried to do Snakes on a Train. I never saw it. I just remember I worked at Movie Gallery at the time, and I remember seeing it and thinking, man, like, Snakes on a Plane was already
in the rain, snakes in Spain, snakes
in your brain. Well, if there's like a brain
I would watch that. No, I mean, I would watch snakes in your brain. Yes.
Yeah. But anyway, without further ado,
movie recently, no, it wasn't a movie, it was a book, the Hermatophages. So it's about these people who land on a living planet that's infested with these parasites that crawl into you and crawl out your eyeballs.
Oh, nice.
It's awesome.
Was the planet, like you say, a living planet, was it like a planet made of meat that was like alive?
Yes.
Ah, I love that. I love that.
I love leech things swim around in the blood, and they're going to recover this spaceship that crashed there long ago because they just want to pillage it. And then they find out that some of the people survived, but of course, all of them were infested with this, parasite that, lives in their skull. It gets really graphic about what those things do inside of people's skulls.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm sold. I need to read that book.
Good. I'll pass it on later, or the info on it later. But in the meantime, we should actually get to the movie we're here to watch.
Yes, absolutely. Enjoy.
And without that, Horror Express.
The following report to the Royal Geological Society by the undersigned Alexander Saxton is a true and faithful account of events that befell the Society's expedition in Manchuria. As the leader of the expedition, I must accept responsibility for its ending in disaster, but I will leave to the judgment of the honorable members the decision as to where the blame for the catastrophe lies.
I'm sorry, there isn't a seat left.
My name is Saxton, Alexander Saxton. If you will check, you will find a telegram I sent you 3 weeks ago instructing you to reserve accommodation for me.
There's nothing I can do. Hello? Yes.
Cut the bag and sort it out anyway.
Yes.
Well, look who's here. Professor Saxton, I presume?
Dr. Wells.
And what are you doing in Shanghai?
I've asked you the same thing.
Oh, I'm just collecting a few specimens. Miss Jones, let me introduce Professor Alexander Saxton. He dabbles in fossils and bones.
Glad to meet you, Professor.
How do you do?
Miss Jones has been assisting me. Bacteriology. Excellent technician.
For a woman, he means.
più outside.
太阳国开始传统。
Excuse me. 2 private compartments to Moscow, if you please.
2, you say? Will that be all?
And 3 crates of animals.
Impossible.
I know I'm asking you to perform miracles, but perhaps it will help. Thank you. It's called squeeze in China. The Americans don't know how.
And in Britain, we call it bribery and corruption. Now, sir, excuse me.
You... Get out!
Huh? Sir Alexander Saxton?
Yes?
Captain O'Hagan, sir. General Wang told me to find you, and to make myself useful.
Now I remember. I do have Your Excellency's ticket. Your ticket, right here.
Thank you.
And the Lord have mercy on his soul.
Not that he deserves it, the dirty thief. You have his things?
You knew him?
Krasinski, the locksmith. He could open any trunk with a hairpin.
A thief? But he was blind.
Blind, he could spot a policeman a mile away. I'll be damned.
The work of the devil.
Can I be of any assistance, Father?
This is yours.
It is, but I demand an explanation.
Whatever you have here is unholy and must be destroyed.
Inspector Mirov, what is in there, Excellency?
Fossils.
What is a fossil?
A stone.
Stones.
There wouldn't be something valuable in there, like gold.
Gold? It's a laboratory specimen. No value to a thief.
Where there is God, there is always a place for the cross. Even on this stone floor, just so. But Satan is evil. And where evil is, there is no place for the cross.
Rubbish. A conjurer's trick. Captain?
Yes, sir.
You get your men to put the crate on a train.
Ready? Lift it up. Off you go.
Where's crate C?
It's over there, sir.
Oh, here. I want to be careful with this one.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Trying to bite.
Follow me.
What are you going to astound the scientific world with this time?
You'll read about it in the Society's annual report. It's a remarkable fossil.
Fossil? But you've got something live in there. I heard it.
You're mistaken.
You won't need to feed it then.
The occupant hasn't eaten in 2 million years.
That's one way to economize on food bills.
Baggage man. Alinka, what's the matter with you?
Yes, Countess?
You have a safe full of valuables?
Yes, Countess. I shall make out a receipt.
Excuse me. Alinka's afraid of something. What do you have in that crate?
Oh, nothing that would interest Alinka, madame.
Normally she likes Englishmen. All we Poles do.
I am honored, madame.
Oh yes, England. Queen Victoria, crumpets, Shakespeare.
I admire Poland, madame. I believe that there is a bond between our countries.
My husband, the Count Petrofsky, says that in the 15th century, your King Henry betrayed us to the Russians.
I hope that you and your husband, madame, will accept my profoundest apologies.
Oh, she's really afraid. I wonder what it is.
May I escort you back to your carriage, madame? Yours?
Oh, thank you. Excuse me.
Yes?
I was on the platform before when that mad monk was carrying on.
Yes?
I'm an engineer, a scientist. This is ordinary chalk. How do you explain it's not writing on that crate?
Hypnosis, yoga. These mystics can be very convincing.
They can even hypnotize themselves.
The fresh food we will pick up. Who will pay for it, sir? Oh, just give an account of how much you spent. If someone were to drill a little hole in this crate during the night and take a look at what's inside, I'd be very grateful. It's in order.
Help me.
In what way, madam?
Is this number 8?
That's next door, Wells compartment.
There, don't cry. Everything will be all right.
Excuse me.
Sorry, dear fellow, I'm afraid you're in the wrong pew. Here, number 8, do you see?
8A, lower berth. 8B, upper berth.
Don't worry. Look here. I was supposed to have this compartment to myself.
If you don't mind.
I'm sorry if I'm in your way.
Not at
Excuse
all.
me. I have no ticket and I have to get out of Shanghai. I'm sure I can make it worth your while.
The young lady's in trouble.
Well, what do you suggest we do about it?
Couldn't you double up with somebody else?
Miss Jones?
Steady.
I'm sure we can all get along very well together.
some of the worst whistling I've ever witnessed in any movie. Not as far as like capability or talent, but just really grates the nerves, I feel like.
I got a theory though. I think that's the creature. So
yeah.
It's playing in the beginning and at various points, and then people start whistling it. So the only thing that makes sense is that this psychic creature has already started infecting everybody around it.
With
why it would want to make them whistle, I don't know, but it's clearly that's exactly what it's doing.
Yeah. Also, I mean, it's funny you could make fun of the hominid being able to pick locks, but then if it gets traits from people it kills,
exactly. The first paper we saw it like drain was that lockpick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then so it gets the wisp. Yeah, my thinking was, I guess I didn't realize that it did the whistling in the beginning, because I was going to say that then it just picked up the whistling from the guy who was whistling. But yeah, what you said makes sense, that it's telepathically.
It's pervasive throughout the entire movie. If you listen, it's the actual music playing in the background, or somebody's whistling it, and I think at one point somebody actually starts playing it on a piano. But it's pervasive throughout the entire movie. So I think it's the creature.
Yeah. It almost reminds me a little bit of Gizmo whistling in Gremlins. And a little bit. But similar. Speaking of Gremlins, Christopher Lee was in Gremlins 2, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. Second of all, one of my favorite roles for him, just because it's so silly. He just is this basically like mad scientist who works at this like pharmaceutical or animal testing testing section of this like mega mall, Dr. Catheter, which I think is just a great name also. But he was a really prolific man with so many different movies. People know him. It seems like everybody knows him from something.
I mean, a lot of people might recognize him from one of his last things, as Saruman in Lord of the Rings.
Right. Or Count Dooku and then later Star Wars.
Count Dooku in Star Wars. And similar, Peter Cushing also in Star Wars.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Tarkin. Every Hammer horror movie known to man, he's almost all of them, he's in there.
Yeah. Did they ever act alongside each other in anything else? I mean, I know
the Hammer films, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I was going to say, since they both did Hammer movies. Well, Cushing was
if nothing else, the satanic rites of Dracula, they face off against each other. So definitely in that one.
Yeah.
Which we should show at some point, because I think it's in the public domain, maybe.
That'd be a good Christmas one, I think. Around Christmas time.
A movie for the family.
Yeah. Well, they actually the first Dracula movie I ever saw as a child was one of the Hammer ones with Christopher Lee. And it's the one where I remember the part that stuck with me. I shouldn't have been watching it. I think my parents were watching it and I like snuck into the room. But I remember someone trying to stake Dracula, and Dracula overpowers them and stabs them with their own stake. And that's in my child mind. I was like, oh my God. Like, because I was thinking, because to me, it's like, oh, you have a stake, you automatically win against a vampire. But no,
he does not play inflatable vampires. No.
Yeah. But to me, I think Dracula will just always be, I think Christopher Lee is just a really, really wonderful Dracula.
Yeah. He's got the charisma, he has the sinister kind of quality that you want in a vampire.
He does. Yeah. And he's very tall and lean, and just kind of his like presence, I think, is just very unnerving, Yeah. Also, he did a metal album, which I think is really interesting.
Wait, what?
Called Charlemagne. Charlemagne, I think, by Sword and Cross or something like that.
Wait,
pretty intense. Yeah, what? It's pretty gnarly. Yeah, you should check it out. And that was in his later years. Like that was like that wasn't like a thing that he did, when he was like younger. No, he like did it as an older gentleman. Yeah.
I mean, is he singing in that or playing the musical instruments? I mean, what part did he do?
No, he sings and stuff. Yeah, like it's pretty cool. Go
Okay,
check it
yeah,
out.
I will definitely look for that because I would not have expected that to be a thing that existed.
Yeah, but
All
it's the
right.
thing. I mean, it's a pretty metal. I mean, pretty metal guy though. Just his
I wouldn't
career.
put it past him.
Pretty metal.
No.
Yeah, that's. But yeah, it's cool, and he's just a really interesting guy in general. He's one of those people that you want to be like, they were taken too soon, even though he died into his 90s. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, kept working right up until the end.
Yeah, yeah. R.I.P. Chrissy Lee.
Damn. But I just like how very, very British he is in this. You know.
Me too. Oh yeah, very. And I like his mustache too. It looks
Yeah,
nice.
you don't see him often with
the
a mustache.
No. And I like the whole thing with the uncomfortable situation with him and Peter Cushing, and then the lady who is like wanting them to help her out. She's like, "I'll make it worth your while." And it's just like, it's all just like a very awkward train
Oh,
ride.
he made that as awkward as humanly possible. I mean, as tall as he is, he's not even going to fit into that bunk. That was completely just a power play. Yeah.
Oh, for
A
sure.
is down there, B is up here. Seriously, nobody would think that. No, just stop.
Oh, and I want to say the lady who plays the technician, I have no idea what the actress's name is, but for some reason I just keep thinking I think it would be a lot more humorous if it would have been Anne Ramsey, Ma Fratelli from the Goonies. For some reason, just because like she was like they were of a similar build, just short, stocky, older ladies. But like I'm just thinking of like what Anne Ramsey would have brought to the role. She would have just been like way more gruff. And then when Christopher Lee goes into the room, she's smoking cigarette. I can just imagine Anne Ramsey with like a huge cigar and just like streams
of that number 8.
Yeah, you're in the wrong car.
You're in the wrong car.
Get out of here.
It's a very useful for a woman.
A missed opportunity, a casting mistake.
Fatally an error was made.
Well, no, yeah, I like this movie. I like the crustiness of the creature. Actually, I mean, which makes sense, but it reminds me so much of like those when you occasionally would see like in some sort of like Fortean magazine or like some sort of like a Bigfoot book or whatever, where they would have like those
monster found in cave.
Yeah, like they'd have like it'd be like supposed fossils of like some sort of hominid, which was usually mummified bear, but but it has that even though these special effects are pretty primitive compared to what we have today. I think it like really does a good job of capturing that sort of aesthetic that the crustiness.
Actually, the creature itself isn't bad. The red glowy eyes, and it's kind of lame, but the creature itself,
the Mothman eyes,
yeah,
it's a little much.
Yeah, otherwise not bad.
No, I don't think so. Well, let's get back.
Speaking of not bad, let's go back to some not bad. And away we
There's the stink of hell on this train. Even the dog knows it.
When the Englishman comes to call, what should I wear?
Sure of yourself, aren't you? The blue one with the décolleté. Or perhaps the red one.
You're jesting with her immortal soul.
That's why we keep you, Pujardov. Our immortal souls are your concern.
She's afraid of something.
Tell me, Pujardov.
Yes?
Which do you think I should wear for the Englishman? The red or the blue?
Enough. I forbid you to talk this way.
You forbid?
Forgive me, Your Excellency. My concern for the spiritual welfare of the Countess, I forgot myself. pray for humility.
Pray hard, Pujardov, or you'll find yourself praying for a job, too.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
Oh, it's the piece I was playing. I wonder who it is.
Wish to see us?
I thought one of you might know what happened to the baggage man.
I haven't the remotest idea.
What about you?
Perhaps it had something to do with what's inside that crate.
I agree with you. He was trying to open it when something happened.
What? Fortunately, he was interrupted.
Yes. By whom? Why are you so worried about it being opened?
It may be my fault. I asked the baggage man to take a look. I was curious.
It was no concern of yours. Or of yours. Good night.
One man dead, another missing. It's time we open this box.
You will do no such thing.
Give me the key. See if you can open the crate with that. Go ahead!
The baggage man.
What was in there?
I told you, a fossil, part ape, part man. It lived 2 million years ago.
Are you telling me that an ape that lived 2 million years ago got onto that crate, killed the baggage man and put him in there, then locked everything up neat and tidy and got away?
Yes, I am. It's alive. It must be.
Lock him up. We'll search the train and find it, whatever it is, and destroy it.
But if it's alive...
I want this kept quiet. I don't want to panic the passengers.
My glass is empty.
Oh, forgive me. My mind was elsewhere.
What is it?
I'm sorry. I can't tell you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Haven't we met?
I don't believe so.
Yes, at the governor's palace, General Wang.
You're mistaken.
Of course, I beg your pardon. It was somebody else. What's the matter?
The eye of that fish. It's white.
Naturally, it's boiled.
Boiled. Yes.
Is it true you're a doctor?
Ask me when I finish my dinner.
It's urgent.
What are the symptoms?
He's dead. You saw him.
Oh, that one. There's nothing I can do for him.
Now there's one more dead. One of my soldiers. The same white eyes. I want to know the cause of death.
Who's dead?
Keep your nose out of it. You didn't hear anything.
Excuse me. Is Professor Saxon's fossil still at large?
I think the fossil, or whatever it is, escaped. Jumped off the train.
Miss Jones, I shall need your assistance.
Yes, well, at your age, I'm not surprised.
With an autopsy?
Oh, well, that's different.
Very curious.
A genetic defect, obviously.
Scalpel?
Mm-hmm.
Can you keep that still?
Mm.
What is he doing?
Tree pan.
Don't get up, please. I see you have decided to dine alone, Sir Alexander.
I've eaten in worse circumstances and in worse company.
And so.
Here you are, Doctor.
You're in bad humor because you've lost your box of balls. Hmm?
That box of bones, madame, could have solved many of the riddles of science. If the theory of evolution is confirmed, if the science of biology is revolutionized, if the very origin of man is determined.
I have heard of evolution. It's immoral.
It's a fact. And there's no morality in a fact.
And what about the baggage man? And that poor thief at the station?
What about them?
They are dead. Was your creature responsible for that?
Probably.
And you don't care?
A baggage man and a thief? You're right, madame. I don't care as much as I should.
Can you tell me how he died?
Smooth brains.
Smooth brains. Yeah, so that scene in there where he's like chopping the guy's head off gives me the just because of the noise, just the sound of like the hacksaw on the skull, and then he brings in that little like pry thing and is like,
oh yeah, for sure.
oh, just
nice touch.
That noise, just
yeah.
And before that is one of my favorite scenes where he's asking his assistant for help, and she's like, "Well, at your age, I should think so." Like, what did autopsy, madam?
No, I love that. That was so good.
That line is.
I'm rethinking my my Anne Ramsey switcheroo. I think that was great. I think that lady did great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that the dialogue is really good. Actually, I think it's pretty. It's funny when it needs to be, and it's I like Christopher Lee's discussion with the Countess about evolution and all that too. Since it was kind of he's like, it's not immoral, it's a fact. Yeah, I like that a lot. But yeah, the noises during the autopsy.
It's the noises again. A bone saw on skull, just that noise. Just
makes you clench your teeth, kind of.
Yeah, just
very gross.
But in this particular segment, we had lots of shots of the train, and that was actually a miniature set constructed for the 1971 film Nicholas and Alexandra. The producer wanted to reuse this set. And the producer was Bernard Gordon, famous Golden Age writer who was blacklisted from Hollywood during the age of the McCarthyism stuff. So he was driven out of Hollywood. So he went to Spain to make this. The writer was Eugenio Martin, who won the Critics Award Best Script for this film. But oddly enough, in his home country of Spain, people hated this movie. But it did very well in Great Britain, the United States, and Australia. So
I can see that. I mean, I don't know about. I don't know. I think it's maybe the Spain aspect of it. It's not very, not very, noticeable. It doesn't scream Spain. It is kind of stuffy and British at points, but
it definitely is.
Yeah, but I think it's kind of an underrated movie. Horror Express, not to be confused with Terror Train with Jamie Lee Curtis, where the killer is dressed up as Groucho Marx. So I could see people getting those two mixed up, but
well, people already have the expectation of what to expect from this from Hammer horror. I mean, which came before this, so and that's very British. And the American stuff, it's again with Universal, it's all very American and English. So I could see the audience's understanding what this movie was trying to accomplish.
Yeah. Well, and I think they kind of tried to, take a little bit of a different direction than the typical vampire, Dracula. They did something a little bit different than they normally do, which I think is always good when people bring out a little bit.
They try to apply more of a scientific reasoning to this movie. And this scene is the only part they really kind of failed in that with the smooth brain thing. But again, to be fair, in this time period, they didn't really know, that the brain wrinkle thing was not literally your brain getting wrinkles like a tree getting rings.
Right. Yeah. How old are you? I don't know. Cut my brain in half and count the rings.
Count the rings. That's how much knowledge I got. Count my brain meat wrinkles.
Have you been doing your homework? Yes. Well, let me check your brain to make sure.
Do some trepiding. Take a core sample. I don't know. That's not enough wrinkles, kid. Get back in there.
Honey, get the drill.
Sorry from good old fashioned trepiding. Which is the worst noise. It's the worst.
Oh, but it also makes me think of the scene in Hannibal where Anthony Hopkins feeds Ray Liotta his own brain.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of Anthony Hopkins, I wonder, since he's an old Brit, I wonder if he ever did anything with Christopher Lee. Obviously, he's a lot younger than Christopher Lee, but I wonder if they ever did anything together. I'll have to look that up.
It seems like it would be a good match, but yeah, offhand, I don't know of anything.
Because I'm pretty sure that Ian McKellen and Anthony Hopkins went to the same acting school, and obviously Ian McKellen um, and Christopher Lee worked together, obviously on Lord of the Rings. So maybe like however many degrees of
Kevin Bacon kind of thing.
Style.
Yeah.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, seems like it should be a thing if it's not.
Yeah, for sure.
Or should have.
Maybe there can be a future movie where they use a hologram of Christopher Lee as he torments. He's Dracula and he torments Anthony Hopkins in some way.
Can you still hear the lambs?
Hannibal Lecter versus Dracula.
Yeah.
Hannibal beats his Mac.
Quid pro quo, Stoker. You tell me something and I'll tell you something, but it has to be something personal, not about the case.
That would be a great movie. All these ideas. We're always coming up with all these ideas, man.
They're terrible. I mean, again, I would watch them, but that's not a sign that other people should make those movies.
Yeah, if we had the resources.
Oh yeah.
And the attention.
It would be like
and the attention span.
The attention span's a killer. Yeah.
Yeah. That's our Achilles heel.
I mean, I'm sure we can
one of our various
redub like an old Dracula movie using lines from Silence of the Lambs. That might be doable.
Yeah. Would we get sued for that? I wonder.
Yes,
probably. Yeah.
I mean, they would do a cease and desist, and mostly it would just be stop now, please stop.
Don't do it.
Just don't do it again. Just please stop.
It's a good thing that YouTube doesn't do what Facebook does, where, if you get in trouble so many times that you get banned. I'm glad that, or do they? No,
that's a thing. That's definitely a
thing.
Do
they? Well, I know.
Oh, yeah.
I feel that we've never been banned for all the times that we've gotten cease and desists.
Yes. Because nobody cares about these movies we're doing, except for a few randos who apparently are like, no, we can't have anybody talk about our movie. It has to die in obscurity in the public domain's graveyard.
Capitalism, man. I could go on and on.
Yeah.
Go on and on. But anyway.
But speaking of on and on, this train keeps going.
Smooth as baby's bottom. You saw this man today and he was normal.
Absolutely.
It must be a mutation, a freak of nature.
What's so special about this brain?
Learning and memory are engraved on the normal brain, leaving a wrinkled surface. This brain has been drained. The memory has been removed, like chalk erased from a blackboard.
Come in.
Thank you. It's all yours.
I won't be long.
Miss, it's Dr. Wells. Miss, are you all right? Miss, are you there?
Come in.
Feeling better?
Yes. Anything wrong?
That woman who was killed. The engineer, you know, the chess player. He told me that she was an international spy.
Yes, I know.
Oh, you do? Well, could that fact have had anything to do with her death?
What do you think?
Dr. Wells and I performed an autopsy on her. Her brain was completely smooth, just like the baggage man's. Everything had been erased. Now, I have a theory about this.
I'm only a policeman, Professor. I don't have much education.
Well, I'd make it simple. Supposing that creature, the one you killed, was capable of taking ideas directly from other people's brains and transferring them to its own.
You mean it sucked other people's brains?
Absorbed through the eyes. That was our first clue, the eyes going white.
Then, if the beast had absorbed your brains, all of your education would have gone into its brain. It would have been as clever as you.
Much more so, because what it had taken from me would have been added to the learning that it already had.
Professor, spy, baggage man, and thief. What was the creature looking for?
Well, that we'll never know, now that it's dead. And yet...
What?
A creature like that. How would it ever die?
Inspector?
What is it?
I found this. The animal had it.
The animal had it?
Give it to me. It belonged to Count Petrovsky.
How do you know?
I saw him put it in the safe.
harder than a diamond. That's why the spies are after it. French, German, English. But they're wasting their time. What really matters is the formula. And that, gentlemen, is safe. Up here.
What happened to the girl? The spy?
She's dead. The fossil, or whatever it was, killed her. But there's no more danger, Countess.
Beast is not dead.
I put 4 bullets into him.
You think evil can be killed with bullets? Satan lives.
The Unholy One is among us. Oh, Shamo, Shamo,
Specimen jar.
What do you expect to find in the eye fluid?
I don't know.
This is incredible. What? It's the last thing the creature saw.
The police inspector.
The image has been retained in the fluid. Exactly. The creature's visual memory is located not in its brain, but in the eye itself. Can you identify anything?
It's a brontosaurus. A pterodactyl.
Incredible.
This is not a map.
It can only be the Earth, seen from space.
I hope I'm not intruding. People on the train are becoming afraid, Professor.
People on long journeys become bored, madame. They crave excitement.
Then there's no more danger.
It's all finished.
And what about your science? The evolution you were talking about.
Look for yourself.
Come here, Pujadov. There's something I want to show you. Look.
Oh, did you get it?
There, from the creature's eye.
The eye of Satan.
Nonsense. There's a scientific explanation.
You know it?
No. Not yet.
Before the fall, before Satan was banished from the throne of God, the evil one looked down from heaven and did see.
Rubbish!
Jarkov. Pujardov, where is he?
I don't know.
He's gone mad.
I'll look in the baggage car.
Right.
Looking for the thief, Miss Jones?
You know about it.
What's all the fuss?
You get back that eye, and there's 1,000 rubles in it for you.
1,000 rubles for an eye?
There's something in it. Pictures.
Pictures of what?
Pictures of the Earth in prehistoric times. Pictures of the Earth seen from space.
Who else has seen such pictures?
Dr. Wells, Professor Saxton, and that pretty countess.
I see. Fool, there's nothing in your head of any use. Another killing.
Stop the train!
No right.
I want to get off!
There's no law.
Quiet. There's been talk about getting off the train. Well, You can forget it.
I'll complain to the authorities.
I'm not one of your musics.
If necessary, I'll shoot anyone who tries to stop the train.
Shoot! Shoot, you stupid Russian!
Who else has seen such pictures?
Dr. Wells, Professor Saxton, and that pretty countess. Wells, Saxton, countess. Wells, Saxton, countess. Wells, Saxton, countess. Professor Saxton.
Wells, is this creature dead or not? If it is, who killed Miss Jones?
Do you have any idea?
No, Inspector, I haven't, but I've asked the conductor to wire ahead to stop the train at the next station.
What's the idea? Tell me who you are. Tell me, I will serve you. I want to help you.
It's like some contagious disease.
Well, if there's a disease, there must be symptoms.
Fever?
You could take everyone's temperature.
The eyes. Why do their eyes go white?
Do you think it's true what they say about those horrible white eyes?
Oh, that part is true enough.
Ah, Inspector. It's only you now.
What about me?
Your eyes. We must examine your eyes, too.
Certainly.
Perhaps you should test for radiation or other invisible rays.
X-rays? Well, it's a thought, but on this train, how would we go about it?
Are you a scientist?
An engineer, but I try to keep up with things.
That's to be admired.
Inspector, I suggest you tell all these people to stay together, in groups or in pairs, so that if anything does happen to anybody, then somebody can raise the alarm. On no account must anybody be left alone.
Use of the train.
The train will be here in exactly 14 minutes.
14 minutes.
Yes, Your Honor. That's what it says here. Doesn't say it in words, Your Honor, but in code. It's like another language.
I know about telegraphs, little papa. I know about trains. I know about electrical currents. On your feet, everybody! Outside, full pack! Even though I still believe in God, I don't like to be made a fool of.
No, Your Honor. I wouldn't do that.
Tell me, little father. You believe in the devil?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, good. Send a telegram. Tell him that Captain Kazan, he knows that a horse has 4 legs. He knows that a murderer has 2 arms. But still, the devil must be afraid of one honest Cossack, hmm?
Earth gravity. You know how to measure it?
How to measure gravity?
What I would like to know is, can gravity be overcome?
If you mean, can man get beyond the gravitational field of the Earth into space? Not yet, but any day now.
Someday?
There is a mathematics professor. His name is Cholkovsky. He has ideas about rockets. Machines that can fly free of the Earth's gravity.
You know him?
Cholkovsky was one of my teachers. He was like a father to me. But why would a man like you be interested?
What do you think is behind all this, Excellency?
Look at this. That's what we saw under the microscope. It shows the Earth as it might look from space.
What does it mean?
It means that millions of years ago, something, some form of intelligence, came to the Earth from another planet. The atmosphere of the Earth was new to it, different. But it learned how to survive.
How?
By entering into the body and brain of an Earth creature. The fossil that I found and brought with me.
And this thing from another planet survived in the fossil, then came to life again?
Exactly.
Go on, Professor.
The animal that you shot was only the host. And when that animal died, the alien intelligence transferred somehow to another host. It's alive in someone on this train.
You're a very good detective. You've discovered everything except who is now the host.
And that's our next step.
Thought this might come in handy.
Oh, good idea.
2 of you together, that's fine. But what if one of you is the monster?
Monster? We're British, you know.
But you must have seen something.
I told you, I was asleep. He knew about the white eyes. He told me.
When you fell asleep, the lights were on. And when you woke up?
They were off.
Are you sure?
Positive. It was dark. I put the lights on, and that's when I found him beside me.
When we did the test, the lights were on.
Master.
Inspector.
This steel at high temperatures, what happens to it?
It gets stronger. What temperatures, for example?
10 or 12,000 degrees.
Where on earth would you get such temperatures?
Nowhere on Earth.
The Tsar will hear of this. I'll have you sent to Siberia.
I am in Siberia.
This is Countess Irina Petrovska, and I'm Count Marian Petrovsky.
Oh, Your Excellencies, I'm sorry. Of course, the Count and Countess are exempt from our orders. Please, escort them to their car. Peasants. Peasants! Are you a countess?
I'm an American, and I'm not accustomed to being bullied by foreigners. That man, he's the one who wouldn't let us get off the train. He's responsible.
Your Excellency, I'm a police inspector.
Everybody's under arrest! Including you. Who are the killers? Who are the troublemakers? Who are the foreign influences, huh? Oh! Don't worry. I'll smoke them out.
What's he raving about?
You English believe in free speech, don't you, huh?
Certainly. If instead of babbling nonsense, you'd investigate this properly.
Oh, this is outrageous. Oh.
So, you're a police inspector, huh?
Yes, Captain. Mirov is my name.
Mirov. Oh, Mirov. That's a good Russian name, Mirov. Tell me, Mirov, what do you know about all the filth that's going on here, huh?
Filth?
Oh, come on, Inspector. Certainly you know what I'm doing here, don't you? You just point out the suspects, and I promise you I'll get the truth out of them.
You're mistaken, sir.
Mistaken? Fool!
Get back! Get back! Back! Or I will put the curse on your heads. He has the evil eye.
Huh?
Satan.
Cool, huh?
Things are heating up in Trans-Siberia.
Yeah. So you got two guys really kind of chewing up the scene now. I got Tony Savalas as Captain Kazan. Some people who've watched really old stuff might recognize him from Kojak. And you've got Alberto de Mendoza as the Mad Monk. And yeah, they both chew up the scene whenever they're in there. And now that they're together,
oh yeah,
fear Satan.
It's so good.
Even Satan must fear an honest Kozak. Like, all right, dude. Kind of cool.
Well, imagine being bald and living in such a cold place. Holy cow! Like that would be a nightmare.
Yeah,
I always feel like bald men, like not balding men, but bald men. They've got nothing left to lose. You know, we've talked about that before. That was actually
that was an ending to one of the we have done that particular bit already.
Yeah, but I stand by it.
Yeah,
it's a rough customer,
but he makes the best of it.
Yeah, that's true. He does it. He's a good tough guy, like you know, sort for sure. Didn't Kojak weirdly have like a revival? Didn't Kojak really have a revival like in the 2000s or something?
Yeah, there was
like
another
that?
series, and actually there was a graphic novel anthology that came out fairly recently, or they were kickstarting it fairly recently. Either way, it sounded cool.
It's when things like that happen, when they come out, I'm like, who? They sound cool, but I'm like, who is this for? You know, like I just imagine these like
who
really
spend an absurd amount of money on stupid niche books like me.
Well, no, but I mean, you know what I mean? The Kojak fandom. I can't imagine
it's
it
enough
being
of a thing.
anybody.
Yeah, there were enough artists
anybody under
and
50
writers and people funding it to make it a thing. So, yeah, it's still a thing.
Who in the reboot of it? Who played Kojak? I could see Ving Rhames, or not Ving Rhames. Well, yeah, actually, wait, was it Ving Rhames? It wasn't Ving Rhames.
I don't know offhand.
I don't know. For some reason, I'm thinking. I don't know why. I'm thinking Ving Rhames. I could be totally wrong about that. Just consult the Oracle.
Hopes if I could spell.
It was Ving Rhames. Holy cow!
Oh, there you go.
It really was. Yeah.
Okay.
I knew I wasn't just pulling that name out of nowhere. Like, I had a feeling it was Ving Rhames. Well, I almost said Vin Diesel. Just another.
I mean, I would watch that too, but again, as has been established, I'll watch anything.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I think Ving Rhames. I never watched it, but I think I remember seeing previews for it on like USA or something like that. But I could see, yeah, I think Ving Rhames would be a good Kojak. But anyhow, you know, yeah, I think that yeah, I think that he does a good job for sure. And yeah, and the Mad Monk, most definitely. Also, he's sort of like a Renfield to the monster. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, most definitely.
So it's like, also, well, one thing I wanted to say about that. So earlier when I called the monster a vampire, obviously it doesn't suck people's blood, but it sucks their like memories and stuff.
Their brains, their vital essence out of their eye sockets.
Their skill sets and everything. Yeah, everything about them, their personality, you know.
Yeah.
Also, I think this bears mentioning that if it weren't for this movie, or if it weren't for, I guess, the original, the black and white version of The Thing, people wouldn't be able to enjoy Among Us, the game Among Us these days, you know?
That's true. The imposter.
Because I mean, this is when we were watching. As I was
yeah.
watching, I was just imagining there should be like a train level on Among Us where you're just everybody goes to the different cars, and then you have to find out who the imposter is.
That would be cool.
Yeah, but yeah, Among Us, they owe it all to the thing, and they owe it all to Horror Express, or what's the
John W.
alternate
Campbell
title
specifically.
Well, yeah. What is the alternate title? Is it like
the original title is Who Goes There, which definitely doesn't have the same impact, but yeah, I mean the story held up.
But this doesn't have another title that's like Horror on the Trans-Siberian or something like that.
Oh no, you want that? So the original Spanish title is in fact Penacio en el Trans-Iberiano, or Panic on the Trans-Siberian Express.
There we go.
Which again does not kind of hold the same. Yeah, that's too much. That's way too much.
No, it doesn't have the same ring to it, unfortunately.
But some of the taglines are interesting. So, can it be stopped? Again, a nightmare of terror, traveling aboard the Horror Express. Again, fine, whatever. But the last one, your non-stop ride to hell boards at 8 p.m. So there you go.
Yeah, I love that one. That's my favorite. That's the best one by far.
Because Satan's on there in the form of a alien possessing this guy. And is it just me, or did you expect the Rasputin guy to pop the eyeball in his mouth? It's not just me, right?
Oh, for sure. No,
he pulls it out of the tray and its tray's empty. You're like, oh, he totally ate that.
The real Rasputin would have done it. I mean, come on. Yeah. Or he would have like grounded into some sort of like weird poultice because he was an alchemist, and he would have like made some sort of cure for.
The first time I saw this, I fully thought he totally just popped that in there, and then he's going down the hall and he's gonna go.
Yeah, they should have. That's what should have happened. They could have done a really great eyeball bit,
where it's gonna wiggle around in his mouth.
Which, by the way, those were absolutely real eyeballs when they were doing. Like, they had to have been like sheep eyes or something like that, or pig eyes or something.
No, they were sheep eyes.
Yeah, As I say, I absolutely recognize that from high school biology. That's definitely real eye jelly there. But yeah,
and you missed out. You could have seen the entire history of a sheep. How'd you squeezed out the eyeball jelly onto a slide?
Oh, man,
little did you know. I don't know. Science class fails us once again. You don't learn the important things in school, like the fact that eyeball jelly retains the images of things they've seen.
Which is also kind of like a thing in not exactly the jelly part, but in Wild Wild West, they have like a thing where
it was an actual scientific theory. They used to think that you could actually discover if you were murdered, like it would be retained on your retina or something. So again, this movie does use a lot of those same now discredited scientific theories, which is kind of cool. Yeah,
good idea. Like, interesting ideas. That's the thing about pseudoscience. I think it's appealing to people a lot of times because it sounds so incredible, and for good reason, because it is. But I mean, I think it's a little more. What's the word I'm looking for? A little more like out there, or like sensational. I mean, it's like kind of like the aquatic ape theory and stuff like that. It's like sounds really cool. So you get people hooked.
Well, it sounds plausible. There's just nothing to back it up in the end.
Right. It's just like you're pulling an idea out of like nowhere, or based on like very little. You're just like, maybe this weird thing is because of this other weird thing. But
it's what I do when I'm bored at work and people ask me reference questions, and then I go, wait, no, wait, sorry, that's fake. Let me give you the actual stuff. By that I mean I don't do that at all. That would be wrong. I would never do that.
Wink, wink.
God.
But yeah, no, that's really interesting. It's kind of like also how like people used to think that dinosaurs had two brains. They had one brain in their butt because like they were so big that they didn't think that like a creature. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they were like, they gotta have. That's why the Stegosaurus had such a big butt, because it had another brain. You know, how could
Little
something
did
with the
they
brain the size of a
know,
walnut?
Stegosaurus just had some junk back there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was a thick lizard.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I think we're towards the end of this fantastic film.
We're pretty close.
I know everyone must be on the edge of their seat.
Who is the alien? Oh wait, we know who the alien is.
Yeah, they should have just looked at his hand, his monkey hand.
Yeah.
They checked the eyes. They should have checked the hands.
Little did they know, it wasn't in the eyes. It was in the monkey paw.
The eye of the beauty is in the hand of the monkey.
Who is the beholder?
Who is the beholder? Yes.
All right, save that little bit of wisdom. We have to get to the end here. So,
with
that,
I know I was pondering it at right there.
I got you. You almost had a thing there. Almost. You're this close.
I did.
Almost.
You can see the gears turning.
Yeah. So let's let it percolate a bit further as we get back to Horror Express.
We must try and stop this.
He was trying to protect you. Why?
He's mad.
Who are you?
I told you, a policeman.
You saw his eyes. One look at them and you're dead.
Coming to me, Satan. Thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory. Thy will be done on earth as it is in hell.
Now anything that moves near that door, kill it!
But what if the monkey's innocent?
We got lots of innocent monks. All right, let's move these peasants out of here. Quickly!
kills in the dark. He can't play his little tricks in a strong light.
The others.
What about you?
I'll be all right. Go on.
Will you take this?
Right.
You know, in spite of everything, Pujatov had a certain affection for you. Yet you humiliated him often, even in front of the Countess. It's too late.
I see you hanged.
The poor monk. He loved you more than he loved the promise of heaven.
Over there. Quickly, over there. You mean behind me?
It would be a mistake to kill me.
Who are you?
In words, it's difficult. I am a form of energy occupying this shell.
Where do you come from?
Another galaxy. I came with others like myself. I was left behind. An accident. I survived in protozoans, fish, vertebrates. The history of your planet is part of me. Pull the trigger, and you will end it.
What am I to do with you?
Let me go.
That's not possible.
It is possible. I will teach you to end disease, pain, hunger. Wait. There is something more.
Saxton! Thank God! Stand back, please. Make room.
Moscow says to stop the express when it goes through the switching point.
Derail it. That means killing everybody on board.
That's what it says. Maybe there's a war. Maybe it's war.
Pretty bouncy. But yeah, that was the exciting conclusion.
So there's two things I liked. Well, one thing. So the creature at the very beginning, it's not human, and it actually actively chooses not to kill people. Like it has there's a scene in the train car when it's hiding, and it reaches its hand over the two kids, and it could have killed them and chose not to. But then it becomes human, and the more humans it seems to kill, the easier it seems to get, until the very end where he's literally just walking down the car going, "You're dead, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead, 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 you dead, dead, dead. And you, I'm just going to take my time and dead." So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I think so too. That's a good observation. It's kind of funny that the more human it became, the more sort of bloodthirsty it became, I guess, really, if you think about it.
I mean, or that's the influence of the monk. Once he entered
that
body, he was just crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, so there's two possibility things there.
Yeah, absolutely. That train scene, that was pretty cool. The train going over the cliff. Did they actually just demolish the
No,
train?
those are all miniatures.
Oh, it's a miniature?
Yeah, there's all miniatures. They had no
movie
budget.
magic.
Yeah, no. There's no trains.
I was just thinking like how expensive that would be to like
wreck an actual steam engine. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, you have an actual all this work to get a train to make, you know, get a train for a movie, and then you just, you know,
throw it off a cliff.
Throw it off a cliff. It looked cool, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's like these special effects for what they are. They're not bad. I mean, they're not great. They're not, John Carpenter's The Thing level. They're definitely not.
No.
But for the time period in which they're done and the budget they had, yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, I agree with that. I love that at the end he's like, I can teach you how to, I can teach you to get rid of pain and disease. But he's like, also necromancy. He has the
But wait, there's more. Give me a moment. And Army of Zombies, go.
That would have been the ideal moment to shoot him, but Christopher Lee kind of,
He's a proper British
But
gentleman.
also-
You can't shoot a man when he's in the middle of a necromantic ritual. That's rude.
Exactly. He learned that in primary school.
Yeah.
But also I like that he was taking advantage of Lee being a man of science and like a man of progress by mentioning all these things that he could help him, potentially do. But yeah. I think I would have preferred maybe like a little more ambiguous of an ending. I mean, as far as like instead
Well,
of
that's so the whistling continues though.
There was
So
the
is the
whistling.
creature alive?
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. But I think that like they could have done with like maybe like another scene after where they show like someone like from the government or whatever is like, well, we scoured the train, but we didn't
And he
find
turns at the
it.
camera and he's got the glowing red eyes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That's the kind of cheesy ending you see now. Like, well, there's definitely a freaking sequel coming.
Yeah, that's true. There wasn't. I guess
Or
there probably
Express Part 2.
there wasn't that much of a. Sequels weren't really, I guess, as big of a thing, as they are now in those days. But yeah, no, I think it's good. I think it'd be interesting to see like a version of it nowadays. Like, I
So
think
that's
that
the
would
thing.
be it.
So we need to mention that the movie itself was not remade in its entirety, but part of it showed up during a Creep Show. In the season finale, a character named Simon, a man was so fond of the film, actually finds a way to project himself into it. And there's some good scenes with Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee, but mostly he just wanted to hit on the Countess.
Oh wait, is it Justin Long? Is Justin Long? I remember seeing previews for that episode. I haven't watched it, but I remember seeing. That's awesome.
So Horror Express
That's really
does
cool.
continue on.
Also,
sort of.
Also, I wonder if, speaking of Creepshow, if the original movie, the crate scene, I wonder if that is like partially inspired by this.
Oh, the monkey in a crate.
Yeah, because it says like, well, I can't remember exactly. I think maybe the crate says like Tibet or something on it, and it's a dormant hominid. You know what I mean? It's been dormant for like however long it's been in that. It's been in the underneath that stairwell, but I don't know. Maybe
they also did that in Dead Alive.
Dead Alive. I don't think I've seen it.
Dead
Alive.
They go off on an expedition to a faraway country. They capture a devil monkey, and they bring the devil monkey back, and it bursts out of the crate and it bites the guy's mom, and she turns into a zombie, then starts infecting everybody else.
Yeah, isn't that actually Peter Jackson's like one of his movies? Yes, I have seen it. Yeah.
Yes,
because I think I saw it under the alternate title, which was like Brain Dead, I think, or Brain Dead. Yeah, that's a great one too.
But also
this
Monkey
movie,
in a Crate. So
Monkey in a Crate. Monkey in a Crate's a popular idea.
It's a trope.
You shouldn't put a monkey in the crate, though. I think that's a terrible. If you're gonna be like transporting a monkey or keeping a monkey in general, I think a crate is a terrible idea. So is a barrel. Like a barrel of monkeys. Like, wonder where that came from. Is there like
there's got to be a reason they went bad? Yeah,
more fun than a barrel of monkeys.
Yeah,
I don't think a barrel of monkeys would be. I think anybody who's ever actually seen a real monkey or like had any sort of like encounter with a monkey knows that like a barrel of monkeys would not be good. It would be terrifying and it would be filthy.
No, you don't put monkey in a barrel, much like you don't put baby in a corner.
Yeah, exactly. Except for
it's not gonna
baby probably won't rip your nosing your eyelids off like a monkey will, but maybe she might.
Well, I mean, it was a boxing movie, so I mean, there was sort of.
Yeah, that's true. Wait, boxing? I thought we were talking about Dirty
Baby
Dancing.
in a Quarter? Oh, was that from Dirty Dancing?
You're thinking of $1 Million Baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, she breaks her neck.
Right.
$1 Million Baby.
Yeah,
but
Baby in a Quarter.
yeah,
but that was from Dirty Dancing. You're right, it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're the same movie.
Oh my God.
It's basically the exact same movie.
They should just combine all those things. This is, again, another $1 billion idea. No, maybe not. I don't know. I got nothing really. Just boxing. Dirty
Instead of boxing, they're like
dirty
competitive
boxing.
dancing, like fling people around and they're like pow, 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 across their face.
And then at the end, yeah, she still falls and her neck lands on the stool and she's paralyzed or whatever.
And
Man,
that's
what a
when
way
they
to
bring
go.
in Ghost. And there's like a scene with the vase and the clay and stuff.
My mom loved that movie. Well, she does. I think she just really loves Patrick Swayze in general. You know. He was R.I.P. again, another one lost too soon. But I heard he was kind of a little bit of a jerk work with some people work with, not to besmirch the dead, but I heard that during Dirty Dancing he was a little bit of a grouch, but
it's because he really wanted to be in a boxing movie.
Yeah,
Tragic
Dirty
Ways.
Boxing, or Planet of the I don't know why I said Planet of the Dancing.
Planet of the Dancing. Why not?
Dancing with Apes.
I would watch that, but again, that's neither here nor there. So anyway, what are we ending this on?
I was thinking about that, and I was the best I could come up with was 2 snakes on a plane is worth a mad monk on a train. That's the best I could do.
It's very Dr. Seuss. I approve.
It is, and I actually tried to think of more, but it
did it start devolving into like Green Eggs and Ham?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the way those all go.
Green Eggs and Ham.
Green Eggs and Ham.
Anyway, I like this movie a lot. I think that it's very underrated. I say that a lot, but it's really one of those lost gems, and
well, that's because they lost the rights to actually exploit this properly. It fell into the public domain due to a legal snafu involving the American distributor, and that's why it largely only existed on scratchy VHS tapes and box sets up until Arrow Video put it back out on a Blu-ray recently.
So we benefited from that, thankfully. I'm glad that it's in the public domain. And really, I think that if you're a creator, I'll make this brief because as with many things, I could go on and on. But I think if you're a creator, it should mean something to you. If you really care about the characters, if you really care about the story that you're telling, I would think that you would want to see how other people view your property, how other people, I don't like using that term for this, but I mean, that's what it is. Your intellectual property, like how other people, like the adventures, the ideas that other people come up with, where they'd like to see that go, and I don't think that it should be such a litigious thing, but here we are. But here we are, but you can always count on us. We are always scratching and pecking at whatever's left over in the public domain.
Yeah.
Constantly fishing around in the underbelly of lost
unearthing gems movies. Or trash.
Yeah.
Or trash in the gems or garbage. Usually just garbage, but sometimes not garbage.
Yeah. Some garbage is less stinky, less odoriferous than others, and you just have to know where to look. Yeah. I think, and just maybe do away with ideas that you have about what constitutes a bad movie or a good movie, you know, and like we always try to say, like, whatever, like, you should be more focused on what is entertaining to you, not like how goofy something is or whatever, you know. Life is too painful and brief to be so serious all the time, you know. Just live a little, toots. That's all I gotta say.
All right, and with that, I will say I am disappointed you didn't make like a "Don't throw monkey from the train" reference, but that's okay. That's okay.
Throw monkey from the train. Oh my God, Joe Pesci would have been. Oh man, well, he would have been pretty young.
I'm slightly disappointed, but you know, the Dr. Seuss thing, that's fine. That's fine.
I didn't even think about that. Oh my God, that is Joe Pesci, right? That's not Danny DeVito. I love Danny DeVito.
Yeah,
it's Joe Pesci, right? It's another short, little fella.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway, slightly disappointed, but all right. Until next time, folks. I am Crow. He's Condor, and this was our show.